Hello everyone, we did the first 3 units of this class where you learned about types of numbers and you applied it to the concept of index numbers, which weren't quite like perfect numbers, but they were often different types of numbers, ratings and rankings and so on. Now, we have a question. We see some results, right? We see some results. Some countries women are doing, some countries women are doing really well. They really are. And in a public discourse, a lot of this is about, women got babies, or they don't want to work. So that's one. Another one is they'd really like to work, but they are stopped. So going back to the concept of visibility and invisibility, that old concept, we have to ask, when I look at the numbers, what's visible and what's invisible? And in this case, we know that we don't really have a clear sense of what people are doing, right? Why are they staying at home? Why are they... And that is the American Time Use Survey. Your guess. American Time Use Survey. So at the end of this video, you are going to have to look at this and make some replies for our class quiz on what are you seeing? Who's doing the work? Who's not doing the work? Why is A doing it? Why is B doing it? Because it doesn't make sense to try and answer a question if you don't have the data for it, right? Spend the time locating a question. There has to be a real question before you try and find an answer. In this case, I want you to look at the American Time Use Survey. There's 2 more very small points here. We don't often think about borrowing funding. American government, is it going to fund time use survey? Do I want people to know how much time I use eating donuts? That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is, I want to know how much time you spend caring for your children, driving them to their courses, things like that. The time use survey helps us with that. So one thing we really do need to think about, which is often not present in a course on economics of gender. You can't do economics of gender without the data for economics of gender. So I urge you not to be right-wing, left-wing, whatever, but I urge you to really think about how do we access the data we need to answer our issues. And that's where we're going to do. So boring stuff matters. Boring stuff has to have data. And only when you have that data will you be able to find patterns. So your job is to find patterns in the ATUS, the American Time Use Survey, and we'll meet after that's done.